Hello guys, and welcome to another video in the series of Linux tutorials. In this video we are going to talk about special permissions in Linux. We will look at the setuid, setgid and sticky bits. Along with that, I will also demonstrate how these special permissions are useful. So let's begin. Now before jumping to the terminal, let's first try to understand this permission, in which first of all is the setuid permission. Okay, so let's say that we have a file with the name exe and the owner of this file is user1. Okay, and it also belongs to a group that is user1. Okay, and you can suppose that user1 group has only one user right now. Okay, that is the user1. Okay, this is basically the default group, right? So you can also ignore it for right now. Okay, now this file has for user owner it has the permission for read write execute, for group it has read write execute, and for others it is read write execute permissions. Okay, let's say whenever I will execute this file, then it is going to write, let's say this is our file. Okay, and inside the file it is going to write the character AB. Okay, let's just suppose it. So let's say I am logged in as the user1. Okay, and I execute this file. Okay, so I am executing this file. Okay, now when I am executing this file, okay, then it will interact with this file. Okay, now this file will see who is trying to access me. Okay, so it will see that the user1 is trying to access me. Okay, user1 is trying to access me because this file has been opened with the user1, and all the subsequent files that are open with this executable will also automatically be opened by the user1. Okay, so currently this file will see that the user1 is trying to open me or wanting to perform some operation, right? So since user1 is trying to open it, then the permission that are set for this particular user, okay, which is currently also the owner of that file, will take effect. Okay, so right now it will successfully write AB inside the file. Okay, now let's say that I am logged in as the user2. Okay, now I will again execute this file. Okay, so right now user2 has executed this file. So in this case, file will see that user2 is trying to access me. Now if you see, user2 is not the owner of this file. Okay, so this permission will not take place. Similarly, user2 does not belong to this group. Okay, so this permission will also not take place. Then you will see user2 belongs to the others category. Okay, so this permission will take place. Now you will see the right permission for this file for other users are not given. Okay, so in that case this will give us error. Okay, error, basically permission denied. Okay, and I will not be able to write something to this file. Okay, so when as a user2 I am executing this file, then our purpose to write something in this file is failed. Okay, so that is the problem addressed by the setuid permission. Okay, sometimes we require that whenever I am executing some program, then executable should run as the owner of that file. Okay, so let's say that I had set the setuid, okay, setuid permission. Now if I again execute this file, then this file is going to execute as like the owner of that file. Okay, so user to execute this file, but actually it is the user1 who is acting as the owner of that file or who executed this file. Okay, now user1 executed this file. Okay, user1 executed this file, then it needs to interact with this file. Okay, now this file will see that okay, user1 want to interact. Okay, then it will see that owner of that file is user1, and then this permission will take place. Okay, and in this permission it is written that this particular user has the right permission. Okay, so it will successfully write the content here. Okay, so this is the meaning of when we are setting up the setuid, right? So the file will be executed as the owner of that particular file. Okay, now note that the setuid field, let me write here file and directory. Okay, now the setuid field can only be set on the file. Okay, it can also be set on the directory, but Linux has not any particular function when it is set to the directory. You can set the setuid to the directory, but it will not perform any particular purpose. Okay, that is the reason I am writing here cross. You can set it, but it does not follow, it does not have any particular purpose, right? Then we have the setgid. Setgid for file means that the same operation will take place, but except the file to be executed right now will execute as the group owner. Okay, previously when setuid permission was set, then the file was opening at the owner of that file. Okay, but when setgid field is set on a file, then the file will be opened as the group owner of that file. Okay, here the group is right now user1, but in practical it could be any particular group. Okay, now for directories it provides different functionality. Okay, let's say that we have a directory. Okay, we have the directory and the owner of that directory is, let's say, any user, it doesn't matter here, right? But the group owner is, let's say, user, let's say 6. Okay, now let's say that I am logging here as the user1. Okay, I go inside this directory and created any file. Let's say I created the file 1. Okay, now by default what will happen, the user owner will of course be user1. Okay, and group owner will be the primary group of this user. Okay, let me suppose here it is user1, right? Similarly, if any other particular user2, let's say, go to this particular directory and create any file, then the owner of this will be user2. Okay, and the group owner will be the primary group of this user, that will be, let's suppose, user2. Okay, now let's say that I had set here group id. Okay, setgid, I had set the permission for that directory. Okay, now any user, let's say there is user3, go inside that directory. Okay, so when it will go to the directory, the owner will of course be the user3, let's say, but now the group will be the owner of that directory. Now the owner of that directory is user6, so the group will be user6. Okay, similarly, after setting the setgid, if user1 again go there and let's say create any file, then the group owner will be the user6 instead of user1. Okay, similarly, if user2 go there and create any file, then user6 will be the group owner instead of the user2. Okay, so when setgid permission is set, then any particular file or subdirectory created inside that directory will have the group owner as the owner of that directory. Okay, so keep this point in mind. So this was about the setgid, and it can also take place inside the directory. Okay, so it is for the file also and it is for the directories also. After that we have sticky bits. Now even though you can set sticky bit on a file, it does not perform any particular purpose. Okay, but for directory it has the purpose. For example, let's say we have a directory here with the permission, let's say for user we have the permission read, write and execute. Then for group also we have read, write, execute, and for other also read, write and execute. Okay, now let's say user1 go inside that directory. Okay, let's say this is directory, and create a file with the name file1. Okay, similarly user2 will go here and let's say create the file with the name file2. Okay, now let's say there is a user3, and now currently if you see the permission, we had given the write permission. Okay, write permission to everyone. Let's say that user3 has also the write permission. Now if you remember my previous video, I had told you that on a directory, writing permission means that you can create any particular file and delete any particular file. Okay, so after user3 will go inside that directory, it will be able to delete the file that is owned by some other user. Okay, so it will be able to delete file1, okay, and file2, right? But most of the time it is not desired. We need that in a particular directory, only the owner of that particular file will be able to delete or let's say rename that file. Okay, so in that case we use the sticky bit. Okay, we use the sticky bit for the directory. Now let's say in this case sticky bit for the directory has been set. Okay, so user1 will create the file with the, let's say, file1. Okay, and user2 will create the file. Now user3, when it will log in, even though it has the write permission, it will not be able to delete, okay, and modify or rename the file. Okay, so user3 cannot perform the delete or rename operation on the file that is owned by some other user. Only the owner of that file, only the owner of that particular file can do such operations. Okay, other than that, sticky bits have different operation for the different operating systems. Okay, for example, if you see this Wikipedia page, then you will see for directories, let's say the operating system is AIX 5.2. okay, then for directories it will perform some different operation. For file it has some particular operation. Okay, if you see here in normal Linux, then you will see it is set, we can set it for the directory and it has some particular purpose. But for files it does not have any particular purpose. Okay, we can set it, but our kernel will ignore the sticky bits on files. Okay, similarly, based upon your operating system, if you fall any particular categories of this OS, then the purpose of sticky bits will be changed. Okay, now let's jump to the terminal and understand these concepts in much more detail. Okay, so I'll go to the documents and let me create a file here with the name file1. Okay, so if you see the current permission here of file1, then these are the permission. Okay, now let's say that I want to set the setuid permission. For that I can use the command chmod, then I have to write here user, okay, u, then plus, and then I have to write here s. Okay, after that I will define here name of the file, that is the file1. Okay, now if I press enter and I will again run the same command, then you will see here it is written the capital S. Okay, now capital S means that the setuid bit has been set up, but this user does not have the executable permission. Okay, now if I give here chmod u plus x file1, then you will see it is in the smaller s. Okay, so it is just only the representation. Capital S means that the setuid bit has been set up, but the user don't have the executable permission. Small s means that the setuid permission has been set up, and also the executable permission is given to the owner of that file. Okay, another method, let me create here another file with the name, let's say file2, and let me do here ls of file2. Okay, another method is using the octal method. So by default, when we talk about the basic permission, I said that we write here 3 numbers. Okay, but if you want to set here, let's say special permission, then you have to define here another number. Okay, in this place. Okay, so for setting the setuid permission, I have to write here 4. Okay, and these 3 permission are the basic permission that work in the same way that we studied in the previous video. Okay, let me write here 4, and I will give here the permission. Let's say I will stick to read write, so the code will be 6, right, and then again 6, and read only 4. Okay, so I have to specify the file name also, right, and if you again see it, then there is capital S. Okay, it means the executable permission is not given. For that I can write here, let me write here 7. Okay, now you will see it is small s. Okay, so this is how you can set the setuid permission using the octal method. Okay, this was the octal method, and this was here the symbolic method. Okay, note that for setting the setuid permission we use here code as 4. Okay, now let's say that I want to set the setgid permission. So let me create a file here, okay, with the name file3, and I will also create the directory here, let's say dir2. Okay, since setgid work in both file and directories. Okay, so if you see the default permission of file3 right now, or let's say also of dir2, then these are the permission. Okay, sorry, I have to write in this way. Okay, just clear it, and I'll do here ls of -l. Okay, now you will see the permission for the dir2 is this, and the permission for file3 are these. Okay, so if I want to set it for, let's say, on file, then I can write here chmod, then g. Okay, g means we are setting the group id or setgid, then plus, and then s. Okay, and after that I can write here name of the file, that is the file3. Okay, note that if you want to remove the setuid or setgid permission, then you can use here minus. Okay, so let me here also write here dir2. Okay, now if you again see the permission, then you will see here it is set. Okay, here it is capital S, it means that the group does not have the executable permission, and here it is the small s. Why small s? Before, if you see here, it already has the executable permission. Whenever there is a executable permission, then here it will be use the smaller s, and if the executable permission is not there, then it will use the capital S. Okay, so this is how you can set the setgid permission. Okay, after that we have the sticky bits. So let me clear it. So I'll create a file here, let's say file6. Okay, if you see the permission here of file6, then these are the permission. Now if you want to set the sticky bit, you will simply write here +t. Okay, and then the name of the file, let's say file6, right? So if you see here ls of -l, again file6, you will see here it is capital T. Okay, again capital T means that here the executable permission is not given. Okay, if I give here executable permission also O plus X, then you will see, then it will be converted to the smaller t. Okay, so it is just the representation, nothing else. Okay, also note that you can also use the octal method. So for that, let me create another file here, file 7. Okay, and you can use the octal method here. For example, I can write here, for octal method the code will be 1. Okay, when you want to set the sticky bit, then the code will be 1 and then the normal permission, for example 777. Also note that when we were setting the setgid, then the code was 2. Okay, so if you want to set the setgid, then instead of 1 you can use here 2. Okay, so currently I had written here 1. I will press enter. Okay, I have to do it for file 7, right? ls-l, and I will do here file 7. Okay, now you will see it is smaller t. Okay, because I had also given the executable permission, right? So remember that when you are using this octal method, then 4 means you are setting the setuid, 2 means that you are setting the setgid or setgid permission, and when you are using the 1, it means that you are setting the sticky bits. Okay, so now let me clear it. Now let me quickly give you the demonstration of these permissions. Okay, so currently I will go to the dir. Okay, we have only one file here with the name abc.c. If you see this file, then this is the content here. This is basically a simple C file in which I had opened the file with the name abc.txt, and I will write inside of it A and C. Okay, after that there is a /n. After that it will also print the user ID. Okay, who is opening this file, you can say. Okay, so let me just save it again, and I will create the executable for this file. Okay, abc.c, sorry, I'll write here, let's say ex. Okay, and here the name of the file, right? So if you see here, this executable has been created and these are the default permissions right now. Okay, now if I execute this executable, right, and if you see the content of the file, a new file has been created here with these permissions. Okay, this is our file.txt file, and if you see the content of this file, then the content is written successfully. Okay, so now I will open another terminal, and here I will log in as the another user, let's say user 2. Okay, so I'll do here su-user2. Okay, give the password here, and then I will go to the wiki user home directory. Okay, and then the documents, and I will go to the dir, right? I am here. Okay, now when user 2 will execute this file, then this permission will take place. Okay, you can write here id, this user doesn't belong to this group. Okay, so it is not the owner of the file, it does not belong to this group, so this permission will take place. Okay, now you will see here that for the executable x permission is given. Okay, so user 2 can execute this file. Okay, but when that particular executable is going to interact with this file, then this permission will take place. Okay, now user 2 doesn't have the right permission for on this file. Okay, so it will throw us error, right? So if I run here, let me put it here, and if I run here, let's say dash and ex, now you will see it is giving us the segmentation fault. Okay, basically telling us that you cannot access this particular memory segment. Okay, basically it is for the memory access violation. Okay, or you can say access is not provided, right? So what I will do, I will set here, sorry, not here, I will have to set here. Okay, I am setting here the permission, let's say I will give here u plus s. Okay, and I will give it to the ex. Okay, right? Now you will see the permission, then you will see here that the s has been set here. Okay, that means that whoever is going to open this file, it is going to be run as the owner of that file, that is the wiki user. Okay, so again if I run here, now if you see, currently let's first see the content of our file, that is the file.txt. so this is the content. Now if I again run this file, in this case this has run successfully. Okay, and if you see the content of this file, Press enter, you will see AC has been written successfully. Also note that the user ID right now is the 1000 and the 1000 user ID belong to this particular user. Okay, it belongs to the wiki user. You will see the user ID of wiki is 1000. Okay, so it is not giving us the output as this 1003. It is giving us 1000. Basically it is telling that the file has been opened by the user who has the user ID as 1000. Okay, so it is open as the wiki user who is the owner of that executable. Okay, also I will give you an interesting fact here. Whenever you run the sudo command that is present inside, let's say user then bin and then sudo, you will see here that it is written here s. Okay, so s means that no matter which user is particularly running this sudo command, it is going to be run as the root user. Okay, so this is the practical implementation, how it is used, how it is currently used inside my system. Okay, so now let me clear it, and here also let me just clear it. Okay, now let's create a directory here with the name, let's say dir2. Okay, and currently see the permission here of dir2, then these are the permission. Note that other user don't have the right permission. Okay, so what I will do, I will go inside the dir2. Okay, and let me create a file here with the name touch file. Okay, and if you see here, then the file owner is wiki and file group owner is also wiki. Okay, here also I will go to the dir2, right, and let me create a file here touch and then let's say fff. Now here it is giving me error. Why? Because if you see here, I do not have the right permission. Okay, so what I will do, I will first give it the right permission. So for O, I need to give the right permission for dir2. Okay, so again if I do here, now it will not create any problem and the file has been successfully created. Okay, but right now if you see, the owner is right now user2. Okay, file group owner is user2, but as soon as I will set here, let me write here plus s for g, and I will set the permission for dir2. Okay, if you wanna see it, let me just show it, then you will see the s has been set here. Okay, now if I again create the file here, let me create a file, let's say touch anything, and again do it, then you will see the owner of that file is now the wiki. Okay, so whoever was the owner of this particular group, okay, the owner of that particular group, if you see here, is wiki. That particular group owner is going to be the group owner of all the file which is going to be created in this directory. Okay, so now let me clear it. Okay, here also let me clear it. Now if you see the permissions here, okay, then you will see dir2 has the right permissions also. Okay, so it means that any particular user can create or delete the file. Okay, even though it is not owned by that particular user. For example, here if you see, we do ls of -l, this file is owned by the wiki user. Okay, now here I am logged in as the user2, right, and these are the files, the same files, and let me write here permissions also. Okay, right, now if I try to remove this file, let me remove this file, rm file. Okay, I will let me write here, yes, I had successfully removed this file. Okay, even though it does not belong, the owner of that file was not the wiki, still I managed to remove that particular file. Okay, but this is most time it is not required. So what I will do, I will set the sticky bits. So what I will do, I will write here chmod. Okay, then I want to set the sticky bit, so I'll write here +t, and I want to set it to the dir2. Okay, dir2, right? If you see the permission here again, okay, then you will see the sticky bit has been set. Okay, now I will go to the dir2. Okay, I am already in the dir2, so I will create another file, let's say name with the file. Okay, now these are the content, right? So right now, if I try to remove this file, then it will give me error. Okay, if you see here, I'll do here, yes, it is saying that operation not permitted. Okay, so all the file or subdirectories which are inside this dir2 directories can only be deleted by the owner of that file. Okay, if here I try to remove the file that is owned by the user 2, now you will see the file has been successfully removed. Okay, so what happened here, that inside the directory either the owner of that directory can delete the files, or the owner of the file that is created in that particular directory can delete the files. Okay, now I'm repeating myself here again, that whenever the sticky bit is set on the directory, then only the owner of that directory can delete the file that are present in that directory, or the owner of the file can delete the files, okay, or the subdirectories, right? So only the owner of these directories can delete the files, okay, present inside that, or the owner of the files, okay, owner of the files or subdirectories. Okay, so this was the purpose of the sticky bits when you want to restrict the user to delete the other user's file. Okay, if you see here, let me first clear it. If you see the cd, let me just go to the ls dash, okay, ls dash l, and I'll grab here of let's say tmp. Okay, now if you see here, let me just remove here in this directory sticky bit is set. Okay, now tmp folder is generally used when many users want to create some temporary files. Okay, so when I had set here the t permission, it means that only the owner of that particular file will be able to delete their temporary files. Okay, no other user can delete the file for the other user Okay, and since the owner of that file is the owner of the directory is the root, so root basically can do anything in the system, so it will be also be able to delete the file of any user. Okay, so this was about the sticky bits in Linux, right? So that's all for today, guys. I hope you like the video. If you have any doubt, please comment it down. Thanks for watching, and I have to see you in the next video.